Oh, live and nationwide. Good morning. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Steve Van Meter, your senior minister, and I'm here to wish you a happy Easter. Wait, that was last week. That was last week. Yes, Orthodox, right? And I'll have you know, as a congregation, we broke the 100 mark last week. We had over 100 people here for Easter. Everybody's family went home. Only the hardcore people are here this evening, right? This is the real metaphysicians, right? No, but it's great that we as a community can do that on any Sunday. You know, hey, I'm happy when just the sound person shows up to hear me. You know, I'm like, okay, we can go. We have one person. Where two or more are gathered, there will be food. Wait. In this church, that's the way it works. You know? So this month of April, it's about renewal. You know, April is spring, where all of a sudden, you know, everybody crawls out of their caves and starts to dust off the RV and, you know, see what kind of camping gear they need for the summer, right? But we start to see life happening all around us. We have to start the lawnmowers again, you know, they've been in hiding. You know, the grass starts to grow prolifically again, and things in our life start to grow again. And we need to rethink some things. We need to, you know, reduce our spring cleaning. We sometimes clean our garages or our closets or maybe just a junk drawer. But we need to look at our life and re-look at some of the things in our life that maybe need some dusting also. I know you're all like, great, we're going to talk about that again. Well, why are we here? You know, what are we doing? Without vision, human beings not only cease to be human, they cease to be. The spiritual, mental, and emotional side of us needs a feeling of purpose, a sense of meaning, an ideal, a hope, a dream, something to nourish, something to pursue, something to look forward to. As sure as the physical side of us requires sunlight, air, water, and food, we all need to be rethinking. So, how do we renew our vision in life? How do we see things differently? Because if we see it the way we always saw it, we're going to get what we always got. So do you have a vision for your life? Now, I'm not calling anybody out. I don't. Yeah. No. What I mean is, what gets you up in the morning? You know, maybe you have a garden. Maybe you have something you do that gives you life. What is it that gives you the desire to want to do more? So, do you have a game plan for it? Do you have a blueprint? You know, have you ever gone to do a project and not had a plan? And, you know, it was a really great idea. I had a dream. And then it went away. Because I didn't have a plan underneath it. We need a plan. If you were to go and tell a contractor that you wanted to remodel your bathroom, but didn't have any idea of how you wanted it to turn out, what do you think they would do? They'd probably say, call me when you have an idea of what you want. Right? Because we have to have an idea. You want the new jacuzzi tub over there, you want the shower stall over there. You know, what do you want to have happen in this new bathroom in your house, or whatever you're remodeling in your life? You need a blueprint. So a vision is a plan of action for achieving the things you choose to be, do, and have in your life. So some of us have possibly gone through life and not had a plan. What? I'm just going to do whatever happens. I'm just going to do that and see how that works out. We have to have some sort of an idea. We need to keep our vision up to date. Also, if we do have a plan, as we know, sometimes plans change. Right? If you were going to plan a bathroom when you wanted to put the sink in the corner, but it wasn't going to have enough room for everything, you might have to move it over just 3 or 4 inches. Right? You have to be able to roll with the changes. Great REO Speedway song for those millennials out there, right? But we need to roll with the changes. You know, you never say as a sailor, I'm going to that harbor. You say, I'm making for that harbor. And if she allows me, Mother Earth, the wind, the wave, the essence, to get there, I will get there. If not, I will make for a different harbor. We have to be willing to change our plan as we go along. And some of us that are sticklers on plans, it may be difficult to move the sink 3 inches to the left to have a little more room. But we need to be open to doing that. Are you open to changing your plan? And you may say, oh, sure. And then when they say, well, that means you're going to have to reinvest a certain amount of money or do things different, you're like, I don't want anything to change. I'm changeable, but I don't want anything to change. We're such interesting beings, aren't we? I want everything to be different, but don't change anything. So Proverbs 29:18, of course, where there's no vision that he will perish, but he that keepeth the law, he is happy. Keep the law. What is the law? Well, the law is the law of attraction. That where you place your mind, you will attract the energy of that. So, are you in the solution or are you in the problem? Are you part of the progression of the action of solving the situation, or are you part of the situation that caused the problem in the first place? And I'll tell you, once I started to look at some of the challenges in my life, I was the common denominator in each one of them. You know, I was the one that gave that person my phone number. I was the one that signed that contract. I was the one that was in the midst of it. I wondered, who did this to me? Why did they do that to me? You know, they always do it to me. And I was doing it to myself. Once you get that it's you, you can change you. It takes time, but you can do it. So our spirituality, our civilizations, all that distinguishes us from other kingdoms of nature revolves around being able to conceive a vision and pursue it. So, in this teaching, we have various modalities of consciousness that get things to move in the world. One of the most powerful is prayer treatment, where we teach a way of doing a 5-step prayer treatment. There's no right or wrong way to pray. They're just different ways that get different results. Wherever you're praying is the right way. I would say pray rather than don't pray. But the type of prayer that I used to do was the beseeching type prayer. Oh, please, God, if you would please give me this, I will do this for you. I will come every Sunday. And I will not eat meat on Fridays, or whatever the thing that was before me that I was supposed to do that said that if you did this, you would get that. I was bartering, right? If you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And I never kept my end of the deal and wondered why nothing ever worked. But then when I got into learning the 5 steps of treatment, that God is, there's power, and you get to decide what that is, and we're unified with it, we are part of the power. There's not the power and us. There's all of us as God. And then there's realization. You realize what you want to be, do, and have as an already demonstrated idea. How does it feel now that it's done? And then you give great thanks. That's 4. And you release it into the law. That's 5. Those are the 5 steps of treatment. So, being a good scientific prayer person, we do that on a regular basis, don't we? First I complain. First I wonder why the world is the way it is, and I go get a book or go get a seminar, you know. Once in a while I'll call my practitioner and I'll complain to them about something that's not going right. And I'll say, have you treated on it? Have you prayed about it? You know, let me call you back. And just a little, I've got to do a couple things before I talk to you about this. Let me call you back. I could have prayed? What? So that's one of the modalities is prayer. And I invite you to do that on a regular basis because every word you speak is a prayer. You're either for something or against something. So be careful what you say because your words do hold power. A person is what they think about all day long. Now there's another form of spiritual connection that we call meditation. Right? You get into a space, you know, maybe you have a place in your living area that you've cleared and that you've made, you know, you have a little chair to sit in and maybe some incense and a candle that you burn. It's a space just for you to meditate. So you have something come to mind and then you think about it and you dwell on it. Hopefully you're not complaining in your mind about it. And I would invite you, if you have a challenge with meditation, imagine this. You know that the days when the sky is clear, crystal clear, not a cloud in the sky, those are the consciousness energies that we want to live in. I've heard it said that your ego is like a cloud generator in a clear sky that just pumps out all these clouds so you can't see the mountains. And it pumps out different types of clouds. You know, some are just kind of hazy and you can see through them. Some are like cumulus or, you know, they start to actually form rain clouds. And some of them are so thick that it saturates the land. So what we need to remember is the clear sky is always there. And allow the clouds to just continue to drift by. So that was kind of a meditation, wasn't it? You were thinking about the clear sky and clouds, letting the clouds go. Or sometimes I imagine a river, and I imagine a thought coming up, and I see it as something floating down the river into my sight, and then let it go, out of sight. And just let things go. You know, that's how we can meditate, kind of guided meditation. So that's meditation. So you've got prayer and meditation, and then we have this thing called visioning. What's that? Visioning, now it's different than envisioning. If I was to ask you to envision a mountaintop in your mind, each of us would come up with their own mountaintop, right? I mean, I doubt that we would all see the same mountaintop, right? But it's your vision. It's your picture. You get to design it and live in it and love it any way that you want. But we have a process in this teaching called visioning. So we are broadcasting and listening stations. You know that? When you're broadcasting, you're telling the universe what you choose to be, do, and have, even when you're complaining. What? So we have to watch what we think about. We're a receiving station when we vision. When we are in the meditation, we're kind of a neutral place. But when we're visioning, we're a listening station, where I would say to you, I ask you to be in a state of open awareness, and usually have a piece of paper in front of you and a pencil, and I'd say, what is the highest vision for the project or the situation you're working on right now? And then just listen. Just be still and listen. And let the universe infuse you with what it has in store for you. Doesn't that sound cool? Rather than broadcasting what we think the universe should bring us constantly. We are open to listening to what the universe would like to bring us. And sometimes we get it in pictures, don't we? The universe doesn't just speak in words. I mean, words are actually a very poor interpretation of feelings. We're all here to exchange feelings. Feelings. No, I'm not going to sing this. Promise myself I'm going to sing this one. So center yourself in the silence and know God as love that surrounds you and infuses you. Acknowledge the continual inflow of spiritual expression as itself, as you. You are that receiving station for spirit to express through. Everything in your life is an expression of spirit. Your favorite color, the car you chose, the clothes you put on today. It's your spiritual garment. Think about it. So acknowledge the continual flow of spirit by expressing as consciousness and knowledge in your life. Ask questions that are concerning to you for that which you are seeking knowledge, insight, inspiration, and guidance. Just be open. And don't try to, think your way through it. Just be open. And just ask, what is my highest vision for my life? What must I become to empower this vision of my life? These are the type of questions we ask in visioning. What must I embrace? Or what must be changed for me to be this vision? Do you see how asking these deep spiritual questions will bring in certain answers? And there has been incredible things through this thing called visioning process that have come into fruition. Basically, everything that we do in this center comes from a visioning process. We do this with our leaders, our like for CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, the home office. They do this visioning process with all of their leadership to move in what direction they want to as an organization. And it brings about some incredible ministries. The Agape Center for Truth in Culver City, they have over 10,000 members now, started from this process. Dr. Michael Beckwith started in his living room with 5 people doing this process, where they just listened to what God's idea of what they wanted to do was, rather than trying to send out what they thought God should do for them, right? You see the difference? So it's a very powerful process. One of the other questions is, what else needs to be known or understood right now to manifest this vision? What else needs to be known? I invite you to think about this process. Maybe you want to spend a little time alone with a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen, and just think, write something at the top that you're working with. And it's usually the 4 different categories. Is it health? Is it love and relationships? Is it abundance? Money? Is it business? But ask yourself, whatever you're working with right now, write at the top of the piece of paper, it as already done. Like if you wanted health, you would say, I am in perfect health. What does that look like spiritually? And ask a couple questions. Sit in the silence and just listen to what comes through. So I'm trying to teach you in a Sunday service how to do it. This is actually a full class, right, in visioning. But I want you to have some of the ideas about what it is, because it's very important to know that you are a transmitter and a receiver. And if we decide to receive challenges, they're waiting for us too. But let's focus on what we want to be, do, and have. What does your project look like done? So start with the end in mind. Start with the final product. And you don't have to imagine how. I want to take out the how. You know, you start imagining that you want this project done, and then you start going, well, I'm going to need this amount of money, or I'm going to need this amount of personnel, or I'm going to need this or that. Take that out of the equation. That's none of your business. That's not your business. You know, we so want to make that our business, don't we? Well, I've got to line this up. I've got to figure this out. No. Yours is just to know. Yours is just to know. Can you do that? Can you be in the energy of the already created idea? And when we live in that, our vision emerges. Our vision we start to live our vision. That's how this power works. So go within and be still. Meditate and ask the infinite to fill your mind with ideas. Do a visioning session for yourself. And dedicate some time to creating a strategic plan about what you want to be, do, and have. You know, if your ideas are just ideas, and they never get written down, they never become anything. You know, and that's okay. I have a lot of great ideas that never manifested. I mean, you know, I thought up Post-its long before they were 3M. You know, I thought of a lot of, you know, my idea was to have a washer dryer 1 unit. You know, this comes out of necessity because I had to wash my own clothes as a kid, right? Or as I was growing up. I was like, isn't there a machine I could just put it into and it will spit out dry cleaning, right? It doesn't work that way. But now they have these washer dryer 1 units. I should have patented that idea back in the 70s when I thought about it, you know? But think about what ideas that you have. What is it? Is the mother of invention? Necessity is the mother of invention? What do you need in your life? What do you need to be, do, and have? Act as though it's already so. This isn't to fool yourself into thinking, oh, it's already so. This is to be in the energy of the solution. Be the solution you seek in the world. So, what do you want to change or accomplish? Why are you here? Why are you here? Each of us has a specific purpose for being. God doesn't make any extra parts. You are a piece of the puzzle. You are a piece that only can be filled by you. And the world is waiting for you to expand your vision to be that part. Why are you here? Ask for support if you need it. Call a practitioner. Call your minister. Call just a good friend that supports you. You know, don't call your naysayers. Sometimes they're family or somebody that always naysays. You know, you've got this great idea and you call them and you go, I got this great idea. And I say, how stupid is that? Why would you ever think of that? You're never going to get off the ground. Why? You know, you don't want to call those people. Those people are, you know, they're living their lives in quiet desperation, God bless them. But they're doing the best they can with where they are. But what you want to call is you want to call your cheerleaders. You want to call people that go, I absolutely see you doing that. You are on purpose and you're perfect. That's what our practitioners are here for. This is what your church is here to do. To hold you up to the light. To say, yes, you can. Absolutely. How can I support you? How can we do that together as one? And I'll tell you, if your invention or your idea helps somebody else and includes love, you can't fail. You can't fail. The universe will fund it. It will progress it. It will find a way. Because if you're here helping others with love, why else are we here? That, my friends, is the reason that each one of us is here. That you get to decide your own way of doing that. And there's a billion different ways, because there's countless energies doing it right now. So What's yours? What is yours? Find it and do it like nobody else can. Do it so well that people go, who did that? Who did that? Is incredible. I want to know who did that. And don't sign your name so they can't find you. You know? Be anonymous. So, in conclusion, move in the direction of your dreams. Turn away from the challenges. And again, this isn't to deny that the challenge is there. Sometimes we have to get into it and inspect the challenge so we can fix it. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It eventually gets replaced. So, understand why you're here and start living in that mode. Start being the solution that you're seeking because it's within you. Give your life some zest. My dad was really good at this. I was with the Indian guides back when I was a kid, and they had this little soapbox derby thing where you'd buy a kit, a little plastic bag, and it was a block of wood, 4 wheels, and a couple axles, and you'd have to design this thing into something, and then race it, you know, against the other racers on this little track and see who's went the fastest. Well, I carved this little thing the best I could, and kind of painted it, put some markers on it and stuff. My dad said, "Oh, that's great. That's great." Well, that night when I went to bed, he took it and he shaped it and he painted it and he put weights underneath it. And he took another one of my toys that had a little driver in it. He put a driver in it. I mean, he like tricked this thing out. It had flames. I woke up the next morning, I was like, "Oh, that's my car." And it almost was disqualified because it was so heavy. But he said, "You know, I wanted you to win." But he bedazzled my little car. And I'm so glad he did. Because, you know, I just kind of rammed the corners on the block of wood, you know. But he made it into a car. And he did that for me. You know, he loved me and wanted me to enjoy with the other kids in a way that would make me stand out a little bit. I think the other fathers were more jealous than the kids were. But bedazzle whatever you're working on in life. Glitter goes a long way. Amen. Now, be careful with glitter because it does go a long way. But a little bit of glitter says something. It says somebody loved this enough to sparkle it. What changes are you ready to make in your life? To vision your life, doing your dream. You are the right person at the right place at the right time right now, or you would not be here. Okay? It's time to wake up. It's time to live your vision. So it is. So it's time to follow our teaching and go within. So I invite you to bring to the forefront of your consciousness of whatever you personally believe that the power of creation is for you. You can call it whatever you want. But we can all agree that there is a power that is beating our heart, that is breathing our body, that is animating all life. And that each one of us is blessed with the power to decide what we choose to experience, express, and the way in which we do that. So I speak my word with love, knowing that whatever is in your heart is the highest and best for you, and I know it is perfect. as we turn away from whatever the challenge may have been, not to deny it again, but to get the gift of what that challenge is showing us so that we may move through this process of life more inspired, more aware, awake, and alert. For something wonderful is truly happening by means of each one of us right now, if we know it or not. So we envision a world that works for all. We envision love. And we know that there is a way for that love to express. And we follow that way. And in the midst of allowing that to happen, something wonderful is manifested. It is this thing called life. So I thank that powerful energy of all creation. Grateful for the truckloads of good that are on the way to each one of us right now. For something wonderful is happening by means of each one of us. And I'm so grateful for the healing, for the connection, for the miraculous energy of God that works in and through each one of us all the time. So I let go, placing these words directly into that living, loving law of mind where I know it returns in a way that is identifiable, that makes sense, and that I can act upon in a way that I can share this with all the world. So we let it be as we affirm it together by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay.